Hi, I'm Lea Cavendar, inventor of the Easy Bow Maker. Imagine transforming this ordinary room into a designer showcase without the help of a professional decorator. You can with the Easy Bow Maker, and I'll show you how. We've transformed this room using simple accessories that you can make yourself. Here we've used a wreath, topiaries, and a swag. First, I'll show you how to make a swag. Here's an example of a beautiful swag using simple eucalyptus, a nested bow, ribbon roses, and some silk flowers. This particular swag is made of twigs with some eucalyptus added. Now I'll show you how to make a eucalyptus swag. I'm sure you've all seen eucalyptus like this in the craft stores. A bunch like this is about $5. All you need to do to make a beautiful swag is separate into 2 bunches. If the bunch isn't large enough, buy 2 bunches. Crisscross them in the center like so and attach with wire. Right here in the center is where we'll put our bow made on the Easy Bow Maker. Just twist the wire to secure. Now we'll lay this aside. First, put your wire in between the dowels. Measure your streamer to a desired length. This one is about 16 to 20 inches. Put your ribbon between the dowels and give it a half twist. Measure to 7 inches on each side. Then 6. The swag bow instructions will show you how to do this, and you can do lots of different variations. This particular bow we're doing 1 at 7, 2 at 6 inches, 3 at 5 inches, here's our 5-inch loops, and you can just roll a lot of your ribbon off at the same time. Now we'll do 2 at 4 inches. In order to make your center loop, all you need to do is make a single loop. And I usually make mine about 1 to 2 inches. The very same technique. There's your center loop. Then we'll pull our wire, one forward, one back, crisscross the wire between the dowels and cinch. Then all we do is fluff our bow. And I like to fluff the bow while it's on the bow maker. It makes it so much easier. There we go. Cut your other streamer loose about the length of the first one. Remove it from the bow maker. Now see, I lifted it without losing the loops, but we're not done. We need to turn it to the back, pull the loops to tighten, the wire to tighten, and twist. There we have a beautiful swag bow. And you can see how the various lengths really are going to complement the swag. As you can see, this elongated shape of the swag bow perfectly complements the arc of the swag. All you need to do is take the remaining wire on the back of the bow and attach it to the center of the eucalyptus swag. Then you can add flowers, fruit, or whatever else you like. Now, another thing I want to show you is how to do this in one simple step. I'll show you how to make your ribbon with flowers in it. Super simple and beautiful results. We'll lay this aside. And I've chosen a floral pattern here that we'll add flowers to. First, place your wire between the dowels. I'm using a heavier gauge wire here because I'll have to be wiring up the heavy stems of the flowers. Normally I use 24 gauge wire. Here I'm using an 18 to a 20. And again, I'm going to make a swag bow. Measure out the streamer long enough to reach the tip of the swag. And use this spool holder. Unravel the ribbon so it's not in your way. Again, 7 inches. Now this is a poly cotton ribbon. The last ribbon I used was wired. As you can see, any type of ribbon will work in the Easy Bow Maker. Again, 2 loops at 6 inches. Whatever you do on one side, you always do on the other, except for when you make your center loop. That's the only exception. Okay, there we have our 3 loops on each side, and here is the trick I want to show you. Lay in your flowers. Right like that. Just cut these stems off. Now this will work with about any type of flower. Roses, any sort of filler flower, and also greenery work well here. Okay? Now we'll just keep going forward with our bow. No changes in the sequence of the loops. Now we're doing the 3 loops at 5 inches. But because I want plenty of flowers in here, oops, I pulled that off. Stick that on there. Because I want plenty of flowers in here, I'm going to add some more right now. This saves you having to glue the flowers in later when you finish your swag. We'll cut our stems off last. Now we'll do the 4-inch loops. And I want to lay in one more layer of flowers. The greenery is also a beautiful addition to the bow here. Okay? One more loop at 4 inches on each side, and then your center loop at 2 inches. Trim your streamer. Take your wire that you put in first, crisscross the wire between the dowel, and cinch. Now fluff the loop and arrange your flowers. This is really something that is up to you. You know, creativity means to experiment. That's how you find that's how you find out what you like. That's how I get all of these patterns, is just by playing with it. So experiment and come up with something that pleases your eye. Now we'll lift it off, just like we did the bow, without the flowers in it. And cinch. Just give it a twist so the wire won't come undone. And here, we'll just take a pair of wire clippers and trim off all of these stems. Now we've trimmed the stems off our silk flowers with wire cutters, and we're ready to attach this to the swag that we did earlier from the 2 bunches of eucalyptus. Simply attach the bow to the center of the swag using the wire from the back of your bow. Isn't that lovely? Here you can also add your ribbon to come to the end of the swag if you like. These are an excellent enhancement over a mirror, over a painting, a doorway, or a particular piece that you might want to accent. We've all seen wreaths used for special occasions such as Christmas, fall, even Easter. But wreaths are the perfect accessory for any area of your home, including your living room, dining room, or kitchen. I want to show you how simply you can make beautiful wreaths. Here is a simple grapevine wreath. These are available for just a few dollars at any craft store. We've selected a rose pattern, and to make your job even easier, we've used rose garland. Just wrap the garland around the wreath loosely where it looks natural, like it just grew there. And just tuck it in. You don't even need to use a glue gun here. Just tuck it in to the branches. See how simple this is? No wire. Just tuck it right in. There's a perfect space left over right here for your bow. And that's where we'll put the wreath bow. To accent this wreath, we've chosen a ribbon that will match our decor, and we'll make a wreath bow. The wreath bow is in your instructions for the Easy Bow Maker. Place your wire between the dowel, and here we'll make a streamer 12 to 18 inches long. Place your ribbon between the dowel and give it a half a twist. The reason, in case you're wondering, for the half a twist is that keeps the right side of the ribbon up. As you can see, when we give it the twist, the wrong side shows, so that when we fold it over, it's right side up. The wreath bow instructions will tell us to make 3 loops at 5 inches and 2 loops at 4 inches. And that's on each side of the dowels. Finally, we'll do the 2-inch center loop right there. Crisscross the wire between the dowels and cinch. Fluff it while it's on the bow maker. I usually refer to this as fanning out the bow. Just put your fingers in it and fan it out, right like that. See how beautiful it is before you even remove it from the bow maker. It's really done. Trim your streamer. And here you can make a choice. A lot of people prefer what they call a dovetail notch. To do that, fold the ribbon in half and cut. And it makes that beautiful V shape. And that's what we'll do for this particular streamer. Fold it in half, cut a V. Lift it off, turn it upside down, and tighten your wire. Then twist to secure, just like we did with the other bow. Then we'll add that to our beautiful rose garland wreath. There. Take the back of the wire where we tied the bow and secure it to the wreath. Isn't that a lovely accessory? And you can do this yourself for about $10. Another thing you can do is, if you prefer, add ribbon in here. And you can just wrap the ribbon around just like you did the garland if you'd like a little more color. Topiaries are a very popular accent today, and they can be very expensive, and I'm sure you've seen that if you've priced them in some of the stores. They also happen to be one of the simplest accessories you can make for home decorating, and I want to show you just how simple this is. First, we have a topiary. I put it in a simple brass pot, and You can use live greenery if you like. Here I've just used some of the ivy tucked onto a open ball. And again, this is such a fabulous decorating trick. We're going to use this again. This is the garland that you can pick up at almost any craft store with about any type of flower on it. I'm using the rose garland because it happens to be one of my favorite, and just simply wrap it around, up the stem, around the ball. Just play with it until you like the way it looks, and tuck it into place. You can put a little piece of wire or a dab of glue to secure it, or just simply tuck it into the wire ball underneath. This makes a very elegant accessory that can be used in a formal living room, a dining room, or any other place that you just want to add some color. In keeping with the rose motif, we'll add this rose patterned ribbon. This is Rochelle by Offray. Again, place your wire between the dowel. And I'll make a long streamer, fairly long, about 12 to 15 inches, so that we can tuck it into the topiary. And we'll make a simple 4-loop bow. Smaller because the topiary is such a small accessory. I did one loop at 3 inches and one loop at 2 inches. And the center loop is 1 inch. Crisscross your wire between the dowel, cinch, and cut your streamer. Lift it off and tighten. When deciding where to put your ribbon, just look at the topiary, decide if you're going to be walking all the way around it, or is it going to be against a wall and facing a particular direction, and just start tucking the ribbon. You can see what a difference it makes just to add a little ribbon into this. And then you can let a few streamers drape. So far, all we've used is a little wire. We've not had to use any hot glue. Isn't that lovely and elegant? Another excellent use for your Easy Bow Maker is in making accessories for the dining room. The dining room is where we have most of our family gatherings, whether it's the holidays or Sunday dinner, as well as where most of our entertaining and dinner parties occur. So this is an excellent opportunity for you to show off your decorating skills. Here we have featured in the dining room a flower arrangement, a swag, which we showed you how to make earlier, a candelabra, and ribbon napkin rings. Bows and ribbon added to these accessories make them particularly elegant and tie the colors of the room together. The first item I'll show you how to make is the ribbon for the candelabra. First, again, put the wire between the dowels. I'm making a simple 6-loop bow. We'll measure the streamer to 8 inches. Place your ribbon between the dowels. Now here, we're using 1.5-inch ribbon, so you can use your small dowels or your larger dowels. Measure to 3 inches on each side, then 2 inches, and 2 inches again. 3 loops on each side and a center loop at 1 inch. Crisscross the wire between the dowels, cinch, and fan out your loops. The 3-inch loop should be in the middle with the 4-inch loops on each side. Just lift your bow off the bow maker, twist the wire at the back, and fluff. This is a wire mesh ribbon called Magic Wand from Offray. Here is our everyday candelabra. Simply wire the bow to it anywhere you like. I'm putting this one just under the tallest candle. And another accessory I want to show you, you can use this in the bow maker or just tie it around separately. And let it hang down. You can do this in a bow or just for streamers to add an extra bit of glitz and glamour to your table. And I like to have it come from underneath the bow. Even simple candles look special when ribbon is added. Here we've added a simple 2-loop bow and dressed this up for any occasion. Another item I want to show you to make your table perfect for any party or special event is how to decorate your napkins. I know we all have napkin rings, but if you want to show how truly imaginative you can be and add some drama to your table, I'll show you how. Again, I'm using Magic Wand ribbon. 3 loops total, and I'm making 2 loops at 3 inches and 1 loop at 2 inches. And finally, a center loop at 1 inch. Crisscross the wire between the dowel, cinch, and fan. Remove and tighten. Cut your streamer to match the other one. Take your napkin, grab it right in the middle, and just let it fall. This way you'll have a point at this end, and it will fan open here. Take a length of ribbon, about 12 to 16 inches, and tie it around the napkin, about 1/3 of the way up. This is a lovely treatment that I have seen in the pages of several magazines where there were celebrity weddings and receptions for various events. Clip your wire so it won't show, and attach it to the first piece of ribbon that you gathered the napkin with. Then fluff. Remember, this is a wired ribbon, so you may shape it any way you like. And there's an elegant napkin that no candle ring can match, simply by putting a bow on it. And it's so simple. Here's an excellent example how adding ribbon to an arrangement can totally change its appearance. Here's an ombre ribbon done in a layered bow, which you can find in your instructions. Added to the arrangement, it looks much more finished and much more beautiful. Now, let's say we want to give it a more formal appearance for a party or holidays, any sort of special occasion. Add this wire mesh ribbon and you have a totally different look. All because you can make bows with your Easy Bow Maker. Another extremely popular accessory today is a picture bow used behind paintings and mirrors. Let me show you how to make one. Measure your streamer as long as you will need it to extend beyond the bottom of your painting or mirror. In this case, I'm extending it about a yard. I'm using a tapestry ribbon to go with my antique painting. Measure to 6 inches. This is basically a modified wreath bow with less loops. I'll do 2 loops on each side the same length, and a third approximately 1 inch shorter. A good size is 2 loops at 5 or 6 inches and 1 loop on each side approximately an inch shorter. Now we're ready to make our center loop, which will be at about 1.5 to 2 inches. Crisscross the wire between the dowels and cinch. If you're using a heavy tapestry like I am here, use a heavier gauged wire. Lift it off, turn it upside down, and pull to tighten. Twist the wire. This heavy wire also acts as an excellent way to hang the bow. You can actually just twist the wire around like I'm doing here and make a loop, and you have a loop to hang your picture bow. Fluff out your loops. Again, if you're using something like a tapestry ribbon, you will have to work with it just a little more. Picture bows are also very attractive with moire or fabric. Now this is one type of picture bow. If you prefer to have a top loop, there, simply fold it over like this and wire it to the back. That's strictly a matter of preference, whether you want the top loop or not. See how wonderfully this picture bow enhances this needlepoint keepsake. Another variation on a picture bow is to hang single, smaller framed photos or mirrors down a single streamer. Here, I've made a loop at the top. The remaining ribbon is a streamer. Then I made a simple 4-loop bow with no streamers. Wire it in the center, attach it right here, and to really give it that antique look, I'll add this tassel. And look what a fabulous effect to display your heirloom pictures. Here are 2 different uses for a wreath bow. This 2 3/4 inch moire ribbon can be used as a curtain tie back and also as a tie back on the child's canopy bed, as you see here. We've simply gathered the sheets and the lace and attached them to the canopy bed with the ribbon. Here we've taken a very inexpensive straw hat, added some greenery, a few little gathered ribbon flowers, and some gathered ribbon around the edge of the hat. To that we've added a wreath bow and placed this on the wall in the child's room beside a carousel horse. The ribbon ties the hat to the rest of the decor in the room, such as the comforter and the canopy bed. We all love wired ribbon because of the way it holds its shape, but there are a lot of other uses for wired ribbon when you're decorating your home. For instance, by poking out a wire here and pulling, you can eliminate having to use a sewing machine to gather your fabric. Just pull on the wire, gather it, and you can put it around your hat like you see here, or use smaller pieces and gather in a circle to make the ribbon flowers. This is also good to put around the bottoms of hat boxes or any type of accessory that you may just want to add a hint of color to. Adding gathered ribbon and bows to an inexpensive parasol makes another wonderful accessory for a child's room. A little hot glue and ribbon can do wonders. A really exciting use for your Easy Bow Maker is to make curtain balances. This is an item that is normally very, very expensive when done by a decorator, but you can do it yourself. I've purchased some moire printed fabric. It's not real moire, it's just a moire printed fabric that I bought at a discount store. It has a very rich look, and it's folded both sides. This is about 76 inches wide, folded in half. And I've measured out the length of my window here. And I want to make a bow for my valance. Just put the wire in first and use a very heavy gauge wire because we're using a lot of fabric. Just loop the fabric and fluff. I'm measuring this to 8 inches, to the longest measurement on the bow maker. Now you can extend beyond the length of the bow maker if you like. Making a smaller loop at about 6 inches. And again, there's really no folding and twisting involved here. I'm just kind of putting it in between the dowels and fluffing out the fabric. Right like this. Of course, you will need a center loop. And just make that a good size knot so that you can fluff it out when you're through. Grab your wire, one forward, one back, crisscross between the dowels. Now here, as you can see, this is a lot of fabric. So hang on to it tightly while you remove it. Turn it upside down and mash it together. You may need both hands to mash it together here if you're using a lot of fabric and depending on how thick the fabric is. Give it a twist and fluff. Here, what I want to do is swag the fabric across to the other corner of the window where I'll have an identical bow. So the way you do this is measure the distance on your window. On our window it is about 30 inches. So we pull this taut, gather up the fabric where it's tight like this, lay it down, and again put it between the dowels and make an identical bow. 8 inches, 6 inches on the second loop, and then your center loop. Here we have it on our window. Isn't this a fabulous decorator treatment? and we did it for just the cost of the fabric. Normally, the labor on these projects is much more than the fabric, and the possibilities are really unlimited. You can do this in a formal room, a child's room, a bedroom, anywhere in the house that you want a window treatment and would also like to save some money. Experiment. Here, adding a little raffia to this bow gives it a country look. You can even use items found around your home, whether you want an elegant or a casual look. Simple items such as this birdhouse sprayed gold, sunflowers to brighten any room. Just add ribbon and bows and your home will look like a designer showcase. You can even give your bathroom a designer touch by adding bows to your towels and other accessories. I know you'll enjoy using your Easy Bow Maker to decorate your home for years to come. Remember to have fun and experiment. Also, we recommend Afro and Lion ribbon for their quality and design. They can be found at most retail stores.